We didn't go to church. We didn't have a church. Lived out in the country away from everybody. I knew who Jesus was. Mama explained him best she could. Daddy, he told me about Jesus. You got to be good. He writes your name in that book and you can go on into heaven when you get up there. That was about the extent of my knowledge of Jesus right then. We were at my Aunt Virginia's church one time. I'm maybe 4 years old. They started playing and singing music in there. This is, I think, one of my first encounters with the Holy Spirit because I went to boo-hooing and I went to crying and I just couldn't stop. Daddy said, what's the matter? And I said, that's music. It's so pretty. I said, I can't quit crying. It wasn't long after that we went to town. We went to Wichita. We go through this intersection. Out of nowhere, this car runs into the side and hits us. And I hear Mama say, oh, God, help us. She didn't scream. She didn't lose her control. That's what she said. We get home and kind of calmed down a little bit. And I asked Mama, I said, you said, oh, God, help us. I said, why did you say that? And she told me that whenever you get in trouble and no one else can help you, you call on God because He'll always be there for you. Going into my teenage years, I drifted over to the wrong crowd. I quit school when I was 16 and went to work at a truck shop. I was on commission, so the more work I did, the more money I made. So I thought, this is one of the things a man's supposed to do. You're supposed to make all the money you can. I'm working as hard as I can, and then I get introduced to methamphetamine, and look here, I can stay up longer. I can do more work. I can make more money. Then it got to where I didn't want to work when I did the methamphetamine. I wanted to go out and party. Then I finally got caught up with one time, got arrested. I go to a state prison 3 times. I go to federal prison twice. I didn't go to jail and become one of the people that walk around with a Bible in their hand all the time because I saw so many of those people. Oh, I'm going to church. I'm carrying a Bible everywhere. But when they leave that door, they throw that Bible in that trash can right there. I didn't want to be one of them. I wanted it to be real. I went to Beaumont, Texas, and they called it Bloody Beaumont. 4 prisons right there in one compound. When I got there, I went to a RDAP unit, Drug Abuse Recovery Program. And if you go through that, you also get 9 months off your sentence. And I completed it, and I met with my case manager and made plans to go to my brother in Iowa Park, Texas. It was about 2 months before I was supposed to be released, and I kept having these thoughts about, you don't want to go back to Wichita and Iowa Park. About 2 months before I was supposed to leave, and I started praying like I never prayed before. I went in and talked to my case manager and told her, I said, I want to change my plan. And she said, you're fixing to leave? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, you know, it could set you off for another 6 to 8 months. Yes, ma'am, I know that. I don't want to go back to where I come from. She said, well, where you want to try to go? I said, I want to try to go to Fort Worth. The Holy Spirit had a hand in it, and I go to Fort Worth down here. I'm getting off the bus at about 2 in the morning. Everything I own is in a cardboard box, and I'm carrying it. Don't know a soul. Didn't know nobody. In there at Beaumont, I was cellies with an old boy I used to run the streets with in Wichita. He left Wichita Falls, and he worked at a truck shop in Fort Worth. He gave me the phone number and contact information. I called the owner of that truck shop and introduced myself. He said, yeah, when can you get here? And I finally got there and go in and meet him and talk with him. And he said, well, tell me what I need to do, what paperwork I need to fill out, because you got a job. He didn't know me from Adam. Here I am coming from prison. And I was grateful, and I thank God for that, because He was opening a door for me to have a good opportunity to do good and have start a life over. I met my wife, Chris. We haven't looked back. I tell you, there's nothing like the power of God. I've been clean and sober a little over 10 years now. That's a whole different life. Now I look forward to the next day. There's times that I can do things on my own, but there's definitely times that I need the Holy Spirit. And the sooner I started letting go of trying to do things on my own all the time and asking for help from the Holy Spirit, that's when my life started changing. There'll be no doubt when the Holy Spirit is talking to you and leading you. No doubt at all.